Today I'm taking a look at all of the scenarios in the new BeamNG 0.23 update. That includes the one you're seeing now with the police truck, taking down a semi-truck with a loaded trailer, one where you climb around a structure on Gridmap V2 and collect a bunch of orbs, one where you jump a Gavril truck on East Coaster points, one where you deliver cars all across Italy, and finally one where you pick up mattresses and deliver them on industrial. So this one's a lot like the, I forget what it's called, but the scenario where you use the Grand Marshal to take out the box truck, except this is surprisingly easier actually, because you're allowed to damage your vehicle and you have a lot more weight, and you can use their trailer against them, like a jackknife, like this. There you go. Okay, this scenario is probably a lot more fun if you're not trying to get a nice video of a gold medal on it. There were a lot of reloads. You'll see as it goes how sketchy it gets to try and clear these obstacles. But the gimmick of this event is you can reset to any orb you collect, but one reset and you can't get gold anymore. The main thing is just taking it easy through most of the course, but knowing when not to take it easy. As if you half commit on a jump, you're probably going to get stuck or fall and crash. Same with some of like these maneuvers. Once you start the maneuver, you have to commit or you're going to flip over. Another really nice showcase of the PBR materials is the leather wrapping around the roll bars on this car. The way it glistens in the sun is just very nice. Big concern up those staircases is always wheeling off of the staircase and falling. Also this, yeah. I don't know how I saved this. Turned out pretty smooth though. But again, this is why you want to take it a little bit slower than I was. I'd messed up a bunch, I was getting a little reckless, and I hit the tire on the wall when I really shouldn't have. Another good thing to keep in mind is, I know there's I think it's your brake angle. I forget the terminology in the rock crawling community. Should relearn some of that, but basically, as you're going over an angle, you'll high center, depending on how steep the angle is, and you can increase the angle you're able to get over by turning diagonal over it, so. That's why you see me steering hard left and hard right sometimes over these sharp edges. This section's pretty simple, although I don't know if this is an intended route, but it works pretty decently. You can just lightly reverse off, and you're right back here. Now these pipe staircases, you want to make sure you keep a little bit of momentum. This one, you actually want to do the opposite. You want to really slow down, or you're going to catch on the end of that pipe there and dent the steering. Ask me how I know. Also, be sure not to go 90 degrees sideways on this, because those openings are large enough for your wheels to fall into. Also, in most cases, it's better to just do like a multi-point turn and go up it forwards. But as I was saying, you want to slow down to get the front wheels over and then carry some speed so the rear doesn't get stuck at the bottom pipe. So here's one of the jumps. It's a lot safer to back up and line it up, but I know to just throw it into high range and you'll make it. That was super sketchy. That if that wasn't lined up with the pipes, I would not have made that jump. As you can tell, I'm getting antsy and I'm trying to just get to the last checkpoint. Now, theoretically, it's maybe possible to do this and keep going up the staircase with the two gaps in it, but in my experience, it just was not consistent or worth it, so I left this last orb for the end. As you see, my strategy is just to yeet the truck. And who cares what happens after you get the orb, huh? Lion's share of my time recording this was definitely spent on this one. And finally, we have this king-size scenario where you have to go to the port dockyards, hunt down and find a bunch of mattresses on a van, and then drive that out of the dockyard. I think it's implied you'll get busted if you take too much time, but you have a bit of a time limit. They're only in stages. When you get to a certain point, you're then rushed with the time limit, but before then, you can take your time. Sometimes the arrows are a little bit weird. May have oversent that corner just a bit. I was kind of surprised how quickly I found this, because this is literally my first attempt at this scenario. I just watched the distance from target and kept driving forward, and it was like, hey, it just keeps going down, okay. This is also the only scenario you're going to see where I got a silver medal, because I accidentally drove a little too fast, and it was going to be very boring to redo the event where I just have to hold 40 miles per hour the whole time. I don't know what the gates are doing back there. As you can see, the mattresses and the trailer are the main ones you have to worry about. Everything else is inside the van or strapped down to the roof. Hey, go ahead and watch the shadow. Yeah, that's a problem. There goes the gold medal. Yeah, just make sure you stay around 40 miles per hour, and you should reach the end in the time limit without the mattress flying away. I have still yet to drive the hill climb mattress and other funny mods. So unlike the rest of the segments in this video, this is live commentary because the capture card decided to corrupt the video. A little bit frustrating, but that's how it goes sometimes. The point of this scenario is to get as much airtime as you possibly can over these gray ramps. That means if you can sacrifice a turn to get a better jump, that is the optimal thing to do for the most points. Also, despite this not being a pre-runner, it's pretty impressive how well it handles these jumps and these landings. It also helps to make sure that you land on all four wheels using the Baja landing techniques. I'll link that video if you want to learn how to do that yourself. This event is basically like the East Coast Jump Course, except it's based around the jumps itself instead of time. And the course itself is a lot longer. The truck is veering just a tiny bit after that jump. That one was a little bit rough. Oh, got in front of the car, didn't want to come down in time. I think it might veer less now. Got a little bit twisted up on the landing. This one is very sketchy. Ow. Come on. Oh, no wonder it can't turn as hard right now. We're almost towards the end though, so I'll keep going. Since this thing is so high up, you can just cut over the curbs. For whatever reason, these jumps here aren't worth any points. I noticed that during the last time I tried to run this scenario. Theoretically, you might be able to get more points on this next jump if you were to drive around that jump, since it's not worth any points. Also, it's starting to veer pretty heavily to the left. But it's still trucking along. And here's the final jump, where you can see just how nice the tires look with the PBR materials. Big kudos if you've stayed around till the end of the video. Thanks for watching.